Welcome. I am Dr. Mary Rose Chinwe of the National Open University of Nigeria, your online facilitator on EDA854, Legal Aspects of Education. Today, we're going to look at the concept of education law. We'll discuss the purpose of education law and the relevant concepts. The characteristics will be discussed. Sit back and listen attentively to all the read and enjoy the course. We are going to sit back and do all your necessary activities and do the forum as the time arises. Thank you for listening. EDA 854, Legal Aspect of Educational Administration and Planning. Today's lesson, we have the concept of law and Nigerian judicial system. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to define the concept of education law, explain the purpose of education law, the sources of education law, and mention the types of courts in Nigeria. You should be able to describe the courts in Nigeria and state the functions of the courts. At the same time, enumerate the laws. Education law. What do we mean by education law? Education law is a law that discusses a number of basic legal concepts, such as rules, legal subjects, judicial acts, rights, and their competencies. Education law deals specifically with laws and regulations that govern federal and state schools, school board, and school system, as well as protecting students' rights. The Constitution, if the sources of educational law, that's where you get the education law. The following are the sources. We have the Constitution, the rules and regulations of the organization, the judicial precedents, administrative or executive orders, legislation, and other bodies, such as international educational conventions, can bring up sources of our law. What are the characteristics of this education law? The education laws are generally laws that deal with standard or conduct rules of conduct, how you conduct yourself in the school. It deals with the published law that is subject to public criticisms. The laws we have, they are always subject to public criticisms. There is minimum reliance on the proactive laws. We don't rely on those proactive laws that are very harsh. There are clear laws and clear standard of decisions are used in deciding about the laws. There is minimum obscurity, incoherence, and vagueness. There is very minimal, because the students are like our children. They are like your children. Teacher-student relationship is like you're dealing with your children. So everything about you is not very harsh. The laws has a few contradictory laws as possible. There are very few contradictory. Few are contradictory. There are laws within the citizen capacity to obey. It's not what you cannot obey. They are very soft laws. Laws which are relatively consistent through time. It shouldn't be too static. It should be dynamic. If you say every student will come to work by 7 o'clock, but because you see that they are coming late, you change and make it 7:30. Conformity of official action within the declared rule. They must confirm. The official must confirm. Now, there are activities, class activity in law. What are acts, commission, or omission? Addition to be misconduct in the school system. What are they? What are the benefits of being registered as a teacher in Nigeria? Now, let's look at types of courts in Nigeria. There is a dual system of national and state courts. Two types. You have the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the Court of Appeal, the Federal High Court, the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, the High Court of the State, the Sharia Court of Appeal of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, the Sharia Court of Appeal again of the state, Customary Court of Appeal of the FCT, Abuja, Customary Court of Appeal of the state. So what you have in the state, you have in the capital. Now, what are the functions of court? The functions of court are summarized as follows. They critically examine evidences contained in a document, article, public record in order to determine the facts of the case. They decide what rules of law are applicable to a given set of facts and interpret the law within the scope of their respective jurisdiction. They make laws. They have the power to determine the constitutionality of a legislative and executive action and to declare it null and void. They perform administrative responsibilities. Example, grant divorces, administer oaths and affidavits. They protect fundamental and civil rights of citizens. They rule the rules on disputed election or arbitration between separate institutions in the political process. With this, we enter another activity. You have to describe the work of the following federal courts: Federal High Court, Federal Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court. Thank you.